Hello, everyone. Yeah, welcome to another episode of the live stream. Tobiloba here. I'm a front-end engineer. I'm software engineer, of course, if anything. And yeah, don't really care much about titles, but yeah, I do care about titles. So I was just kidding. Yeah, I do like front-end stuff. React, everything client side. And today we've been like doing this live stream for some time now, and it's mostly me and Ali. And yes, we'll be doing another awesome stuff today. And yeah, enough about my own rambling. So this is not scripted. I just say random stuff, but let Ali
Uh,
go and introduce himself.
okay, so in the name of God, so hello everyone. I hope everyone is doing great. So happy weekends. Hope to see you again. Okay, so my name is Ali. So I'm a front-end developer. So honestly, like this is our fifth live stream that we are going to talk about React, which is a JavaScript library. For today's live stream, we are going to teach you how to work with context, like context API, which is a hook that is coming from React library. So before that, we prepared some like few slides, like to tell you what context is and why we have to use context, like how it is going to make our work very easy. Okay, so before that, like let's go to the slides. So context, Toby, it would be great if you give some information about what context is.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, in context is like a built-in API that React has. One of their like, I mean, every framework or library always has like built-in APIs. If you know me, you probably like I've heard about Million. So we use some like built-in APIs in Million to help us integrate some things. And context in React happens to one of those their built-in APIs that they use to handle some things. And what does context handle? Basically, context just handles like data movements. So the way React works is that data flows one way down. So from the parents to the child, to the children, and then from the children to the other children. But data cannot directly flow from sibling to sibling if they are at the same level. So there's a React tree. Sibling cannot send data to another sibling. There is no connection. There's no pipeline. It has to come from the parents, then down to the children and the other sibling. That's the way data flows in React. But with context, we can hack it kind of because what context does is just that it wraps your entire application, and then I mean it provides like a pipeline basically in your entire application that you can use to be able to move data from anywhere within your application. So all you have to do is go to that part of the application where you need the data and request for the data, and then you get it right there in your local state, your local application. So instead of you having to go through the stress of prop drilling where you move data from up, pass it down, then turn it backwards, like nah, it's not really efficient. So context can help you with data movements basically. So that is what context does. Mhm.
Okay, that's a great explanation, Toby. Very nice. So before we jump into and talk about context, I'm going to give you a short example without using the context, like how our project is going to be. So right now we have an app, direct like the routes application, which is app, and also we have three routes, which are auth. So inside of that auth, we have two components, which are sign in and sign up. So the second route is going to be setting, and inside of that setting we have user. Inside of that user we have profile, and the last route is going to be orders. So orders, inside of that orders we have the history component to see the history. So for this project, when someone wants to use our website, so they must be sign in or sign up. So that's why they have to go to this page, which is auth. So we have two components which are sign up and sign in. So when they sign in, so the data is going to be just in these two components. Like when the user is signing, then we have to get some data from the user, like email, password, name, and also the image, so that we can display them on the profile or history. So the problem is like the data is just located in these two components, not the profile and not history. So there's one way, and that way is going to be so. Right now, the data is located in these two components. So we need to send the data to the root, to the parent component, which is auth, then send it to the app, which is the routes application, which all the routes, which all of the components exist inside of this component, inside of this root component, which is app. Then when the data is inside of it, then we need to send the data to the sitting component route, I should say, and then to the user, then to the profile, so that we can access the data. And then it is so similar to the orders. Like when we have the data is inside this component, which is the app, we need to send the data to the orders, then history. So you see, it's too complicated, and this way is not a good way, like of using the data in all of the components. You see, we don't really need the data inside of the user, inside the settings, inside the auth. We don't really need them. We just need the data to be inside the profile, inside the history, and also inside the sign up or sign in. And also, we don't really need the data to be inside the app, the root application. So that's the problem that this way is going to do for us. So to solve this problem, context will come to the place and context will help us. So what context is going to do? So as Toby said, like context is an API that is coming from the the React library. So context is like outside of the application. Like you see, this is the context, like which is outside of the application. So when the user is sign
Mm-hmm.
up or sign in, so we can store this data outside of the component, outside the application, which is here. We
Mm-hmm.
can store that data there so that we can access it whenever we want, whether it is going to be
Yeah.
profile, whether it is going to be history. So we can access it very easily, and there is no need to send the data back to the parent, back to the uh, app directory, like the root application, and then send that data to the orders, to the setting, to the user, so that we can access it within the profile or history. So that's what context is going to do for us. Like it's so similar to universal prop management, something like that, or universal set management, doesn't matter. So it is like a global, like it is outside of the application. So we store it
Yeah.
there so that we can get that data whenever we want. So that's what context is going to do for us. Okay, so it was a short information
Mm-hmm.
about context, like context without using the context, and application with using by using context. So that's the difference between context and without context. So
Awesome.
I
Awesome.
hope that was informative. So let's go and make our project. So it's going to be a very simple project. Like we have a navbar, and then also we have a button and also a number for counting. So whenever I click this button, the number is going to be increased, like one,
Mm-hmm.
4, 5, 6. So you might ask, like, it's very easy. So there's no need to use context because navbar is located in this component, so that we can use navbar as props. Like there is a number so that we can use props in order to see the numbers increasing. But to make sure that navbar is not
Mm-hmm.
inside the component,
Yeah.
like it
Yeah.
is outside of it. Like this
Yeah.
button and this navbar is not linked to each other. So we can talk more uh,
Yeah.
later.
Yeah.
Like and yeah. Okay.
That, yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Toby. Okay, so this is a very simple, like hello world. So Toby, you can continue from now on.
Perfect, perfect. So, Ali
Yeah,
just showed us like a very nice demo of what we'll be working on. So basically, he said we'll like have our application be such that it has like a navbar, right, Ali?
yeah, navbar, exactly.
Yeah, we would have a navbar What else? What else would our application contain?
We have a button and a number.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So we have a
Yeah.
button and a number, and then we also have a number. So let me start from there and create the things that we need. So in app here, we can't really do much in apps because like we have the structure already. And sorry, mic breaking the directory. Teach is a different one, right? Okay, sorry. So yeah, we have like I have my SRC here. Let me close teach. So I have my preview here and then SRC. So I have my SRC here and I have my navbar components here. Oh, at least it's a different file.
Uh,
This is a different
your
teach is the one we are using.
yeah, the teach folder is the one that we need to be working on.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so teach is one we're using. So now I have my my app directory set up here for my default React application. So from here I can just start like building stuff up. So in my app here, I don't want to obviously have hello world here because this is what I'm targeting. I have a nav bar and I have a count. So in my app I can render both of them, which is what we're actually driving at. So let me start by like creating my the components folder. So I'll come here. I keep opening this. I'll come here in my teach and my SRC, sorry. I'll create the folder, call it components. Components. I created a components folder. So in components, I want to have two components basically. So I want to have a navbar and the button. So I can create navbar.gsx. I'm following the React convention for naming components. And I'll create another component here. So I'll call this guy button.gsx. Awesome. So we have both of them plugged in and set up. So from here, let me start by like creating my button, I guess. Let me start by creating my button. So in my button, I can just do something really simple. The button is just it just says count, and then it shows, and then we show the count at the bottom. So I think we need other components for count to show the count, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Count.gsx. We might actually need to this might not be a very good directory structure for a project. You might need to like make each of these guys a folder, maybe in case you want to write styling for each one of them. I'm not sure if I using Tailwind for this or not because it might not be very efficient. It might because if you're having styling for each one of these components, it might be very good practice to have them in their own separate folders. So you can just put their style beside them there and then style the components, each component. But so far so good. Am I on the right track, Ali?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Yeah, let me proceed
Yeah.
from here. So based on what we're working on here, let me just like set other things up. So I'm in my button.gsx here and navbar. So let me just set up my navbar basically. So I'm going to do my function. I can see people in the comments I really like showing support and turning up. Nice to have you guys here. Navbar. So so I'll do my navbar here. Then return. Oh, caps up. What is my number showing? Let me look at what Ali has done. So my number is basically just showing, if you go back, Ali.
Okay. Okay.
So my number is actually just showing number and then count. So I can just do like a simple div here for now. That's more semantic. Sorry, return should be um, parentheses, not curly braces. So I have like so a nav here for better semantics and stuff. It's basic. So nav, close this, open it, sorry. I open this up, my nav in there. So now my nav is basically just going to say, have a maybe P tag or something.
Hmm.
Maybe an
Yeah.
H1 is
P.
better,
Okay. Each one.
or H1. Yeah. So in
Yeah.
H1 of nav, oh sorry, nav bar, H1 of nav bar, and then
Yeah.
I'm going to have my count be down here. So count is a component I will go create somewhere else now and then have plugged in here. So no styling for now. We're not really doing any styling. I think maybe just an HR for horizontal line or something. I think so. Let me come back here to my. I've done my navbar, so I can just export it here. Let me export the default, so I can go and use it in my app because app is what's rendering. If you follow the if you were in the if you follow from the beginning, you see that tree that already showed us from the presentation. So both navbar and button will be in there, so we can just use them directly. Um, right, right there. Yeah. So coming back to my button, let me create the button. So function. button. Sorry. So I created the button now. I can just return. Then I have my button here. Semantics, remember, you have to always follow semantics. Don't just use divs for everything. So there's button here.
Yeah.
So the button says what? It says count. I can just use like for some sake, I can use like maybe fragment here because I still want to render my count. So let me use like React fragment to wrap everything here.
I think we have a
Fragment.
I think we have a
You have
component
what?
for that. We have a component count for that one. We can render that one.
Oh, like this count at the bottom here.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we are
So
creating a button component. Yeah.
you created three components, one for button
Mm-hmm.
and one for navbar, so one for count. So we can
Yeah.
say the number to be inside the count.jsx component.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to
Yeah.
do. So what I'm doing now is that I want to do a fragment such that in case I want to use the count as well, my count would
Okay.
be. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay. You want the count to be standalone, like we'll render it
Uh,
in the app.js. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. That's very that's good. That's good too. I just wanted to like I wanted to put it in the button, but I guess yours is a better idea because I mean your button shouldn't be rendering another thing. Yeah, so
Okay.
let me open app now. So let me open app now. So in app now, okay, have I exported this? My button. So I have to export default of my button. So export
Yeah, export
default.
default.
Um, yeah. So let me just create my account real quick. So my account is basically just rendering a count. So function. So I'm basically creating all the components right now. Sorry, this might be the most boring part. This might be the most boring part of this. But I don't write this. I don't write this like in like production stuff though. I mean in work like mode though. There are like other extensions that can help
Hmm.
you speed up all this process. I use RFC.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like a very short mnemonic. I just use to basically do this. I don't have to write from scratch. So, but because of this live stream, I just have to be doing this. So I'll put a p
Yeah.
tag here. I'll put a p tag here. My p tag is basically going to be render a count. So I can put like a number for now. Let me put a static number. But notice that this is going to be dynamic later on because we'll be using context. So I'll export default here then.
Exactly. Yeah.
I export default here. Then I'll come and import everything I've done now. So I'll use Control E. Or let me not use Control E. Let me just search it myself. So you see, Control E is one shortcut that I used to navigate. But let me just do it manually. So I'll go to my app.jsx. Now I can import everything I've exported. So I'll import here, import count. So yeah, it brought
Count.
count.
Yeah.
Import button. So it will
Button.
give me
Yes.
a button from what's going on. I thought button.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
That's
it's
good.
correct. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
it's correct.
Then I'll import nav button. So import nav bar. Sorry, nav bar from components nav bar. So I can now put each of these three guys directly inside oh see tab 9 is suggesting it for me. But I'm not going to use tab 9. So I'm just going to render each of them manually. So nav bar will be
Yeah.
here, button will be here, and then I'm going to have my last component here, which is going to be count. But I think
Count.
I
Yeah.
followed so I think I followed the structure now. But I can also put an HR here on horizontal line. I think you put an HR there, right? Ali?
Yeah, we can also do that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me take it out too. If it's not what you designed, we can take it out then. For now, let's work with it. So
But
later on we can see it.
okay. So this is the results that we got so far. Now for the button for count and a count. That's good.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
awesome,
awesome.
awesome. So now
Yeah.
now that now that we've successfully done the boring part of us creating all the components, so I guess we can move on
Yeah.
to the part where we actually like create the context now. So I'm going to come here
Mm-hmm.
now.
Yeah.
I'm going to create a components folder. I mean, context folder. I can call it context. Context. This might be good for like when your projects start growing. But normally this might not be the way you do like a real world project directory structure because based on the requirements of the project, the directory structure might have to change. So in context here, I can just create something simple like button of count dot context dot gsx. So this is like a naming convention we use to name context. So I can put it in lowercase. Is it lowercase or uppercase? For this, Ali, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Is
I
this
can hear
lowercase or
you.
uppercase for like the name of the count? Yeah, is it
Oh,
like count in lowercase, capital letters?
like you
So
want to name
what?
the file? You want to name the file?
Yeah, like
So
the
it's going
C
to be
should it be uppercase or lowercase?
a lowercase. That it doesn't really matter.
I was just trying to
Yeah.
follow conventions as well. So we
Yeah.
can do count the context of GSX because it doesn't really change anything though. In lowercase.
Yeah.
So let's move on from here. So the file has been created for us. So all we have to do from here is to import create context from React, and I'm going to stop here and have Ali take over.
Okay, so Toby did like made three component, one for button and one for count, like for counting, and one for navbar. So just wanted to add something inside the navbar. Like if we see the website preview, we also see the number also in the navbar. So we can add that count component also inside
Yeah, I
the
forgot to import it.
yeah. And also we can also add HR. Doesn't matter. You see like the number component and also the button and the number. Okay. So Toby, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, so for a second maybe I lost the connection.
No, no,
Okay.
no, no, no. I can hear you.
Okay, because it was so quiet from from your side.
Yeah.
So so right now let's add the logic. Like whenever we click the button, we need the number to be increased. So we are going to do it with context. So Toby imported the context, so that's good. Like we need to create the context. So first, we have to do is to say export. Like we have to export const. We have to name it like count context. Like we have to create it, create context. Let me close this one. Okay, to see it better. Create context. And for now, let's put it empty, and we can add the data later. So the second
Mm-hmm.
variable that we need to create is going to be export. So we need to export it because we have to use this one in another component. So we are going to say count provider provider. So it's
Mm-hmm.
provider. So it's going to be a function. So inside of that function, where there is going to be one argument, which is going to be children, and we
Mm-hmm.
have to return the count, which we created the variable count context. We say count
Yeah.
context. So we will
Right.
get an object. So we have to choose the provider,
Dot
and
provider.
inside of this one, we
Mm-hmm.
need to say children. Like children is a an argument that is coming from React. So all of the if you see the navbar, the count and the number, these are going to be the children of context of provider. So also inside
Mm-hmm.
the context count context of provided, we also need to say value. We also need to
Mm-hmm.
we are going to use the user state, so we can say count set count to be user state. So if you don't know what user state is, like it's a state management, like we are going to get two values, which is count, which is going to give us the default value, which is 0, and set count, which we can use this one for changing the value. So we can,
Yeah.
and also we can say value, which are going to be count and set count. So we can get this one and put it inside the value. And that's all for the count provider. So inside the count context, we can import the count and also set count. So we say count, which is the default value is going to be 0, and set
Mm-hmm.
count, which is going to be a function. That's it. Like we are done with the context. So when you are done with the context, so we need to go to the main.jsx to the root application, which is app. So it is very top, like the top application, which all of the components is
Yeah.
located, is exist inside of this application.
Yeah.
So what we have to do is to wrap the application with context provider, which we created a moments ago. So we say
Yeah.
count context provider, which is going to be that one. Okay, so we have to import it, which is coming from dot context slash count dot context. So we wrap the whole application with a count provider. So in order to get the data, like we need to see that number to be 0. So for seeing that, we have to go to the count. We have to import some. We have to import the use context, which is coming from React.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we can come here and say use context. And also we have to use the, if we go to the context, you see we also created count context, which have two values, count and set count. So we need to get
Mm-hmm.
the the count, like which is 0. So we can go back to the count and say count context, which is coming from the context folder. So we need to get the
Mm-hmm.
value of count. We don't really need the
Mm-hmm.
set count because we need to use the set count inside the button component for changing
Button.
values. Yeah.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
So instead of 5, we need to say count. So once I refresh the page, we are going to see the value of 0. Okay, so for a demo, like instead of 0, I'm going to put it 4. So we are going to see
Mm-hmm.
4. It's working fine. Okay, Toby, you can continue from now on.
Perfect, perfect. So Ali has successfully helped us to set up the context and pass it and use it in the nav bar. I mean the count rather, which is working both in the nav bar and in the root application. So now what I'm going to do next is basically give access to that button on click to be able to modify um the count variable and maybe increment it or something. I guess increment is what we'll be doing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ali?
Yeah, you can continue.
Yeah, okay, awesome. So
Uh,
increments, yeah, increments is what we'll be working on. So I'm just going to check the button now instead of increment. Let me see. Um, so to search the button, I'm basically going to go to the uh wait, am I moving am I moving over there? Is my stuff moving? Or is it frozen?
uh, now it's working fine for me.
Oh, it's okay, it's working fine. Like I mean, am I moving on the VS Code or is it frozen on VS Code?
Like, can you go to the button.js component?
Okay, let me try that. I thought I was there already. Let me see. Yeah, okay. So we can basically just let me come here now. Okay. I was wondering. Can you see me? Can you see? Okay. I'm typing now. Okay, now let's move over to the count file. Sorry. Open the directory and then we move over to the count file, which is basically here. Right. Button. So button is inside component. Yeah. Sorry. moving over to button now. Sorry, the slow network is probably like lagging or something. So your button is here now. So now I'm in the
Yeah.
button. Now to use the context from button to basically help us increment the count. Very easy to do. So we're just going to come here and I'm going to start by importing use context because use context is the hook we use in React to work with context. So I'm going to import use context from React, importing this first. Then we move over to the importing component itself. And then we now start by destructuring because what we need here is basically the setter function, which is set count. We don't need the count itself because we're not doing any rendering here. We just want to increase the count by one, basically. So I can come here and grab set count. I can destructure this from use context right there. So
Yeah.
I'm destructuring set count from use context down. So this context can hook into the context because it's like the hook. If you know use state, use effect, they're like React hooks. Use context is just another hook. So basically, what use context can do is just grab the use context and it's just look for the context where we are like sending out either count or set count. Because in this case, we are destructuring set count. So the use context will just search your application. When it finds set count, it grabs the set count function and it knows that okay, you want to actually use that set count function in the button. So that's basically what we are doing here. So it's very easy to use. We are not going to really doing any. We're not passing. It doesn't even feel like I'm passing down prop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a custom function for myself because I don't want to directly write the function in the button like that. I'm just going to write the function myself here. I'm basically going to call it undo click. So what undo click will do is undo click will grab set count for me, and based on the previous count, and I'll put a callback function in it. So basically, what I want to do with this callback function is I just want to um, increase count by one. But I do have need to do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
grab the previous count and increase count by one. So with this work though, do I need to destructure the count too? Let me try it though.
Okay, let's try it.
Right, so I'm going to pass in my undo click function here, and then what's going on? Did you see it? Oh, yeah, undo click. So let's try. Okay, let me close it. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So let us try this.
Okay, bro, you need to add something. Like, what's that going to be like? Right now, you need to add something.
Hmm.
Like, think a
Okay, let me
bit.
try to trace it
Yeah.
and see what I need to add. Huh? What'd you say?
Like, no, that's not a
I
problem.
guess it.
No, no, that's not a problem. That was
Okay.
okay. Like, you need to
Hmm.
import the count context as well.
Oh, I didn't import it.
Yeah. To use it, to use the as a use context because
Oh,
right now
okay,
it's
okay, okay.
empty. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought I was actually using it. Oh.
No
Okay, let me
problem.
try by. Let me import that. I'm just going to import count context. Are we exporting it though? Context. Yeah, we're exporting it. So
Okay.
I'm going to use the count context directly inside of here. So I'm just going to pass it here. Count context.
Okay, that's good.
So so now
Okay,
our
let's
context.
let's try it. Yeah, it's working fine.
Yeah, thank you very much, Bianca, for the comments. So yeah, it's working fine now. So I basically rookie
Yeah,
mistake.
it's working fine.
I didn't pass in the count context. Rookie
No
mistake.
problem, bro.
So so yes.
Yeah,
We finally finished it and set it up properly. But
exactly.
basically, this feels like more convenient to me. And they're like modern like libraries now, like Redux toolkit and stuff that help us do these things. Like basically, most of the
Yeah,
concepts with these plus reducers, they help us to handle these things, and we don't have to drill props like we do in like smaller applications. So naturally this is like a very small application, but you can still drill props
Yeah,
and it will work. But using context, we have
exactly.
actually made the application more scalable because if I wanted to add more features to this application, I can just go there and like add more props to in my context
Hmm.
and create more props there, and then okay, be able to use them in other maybe pages or something or in other components basically is what I'm saying. So I
Exactly.
feel
Yeah,
like this
that's
was
good.
this was a success. Yeah, this was a success. What do you think, Ali?
I'm thinking the same way, bro. Like as you said, like nowadays there are a few technologies that are going to make our work very easy, such Redux. So Redux is very good. Like it is something that is very like when we use Redux, like it is very easy and it's not that hard. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
about the global state management. Like it is so
Mm-hmm.
similar to use context, but different. Like we are using use state here, but when we want to use Redux, then we have to know about use reducer, which is also a hook
Yeah.
that is coming from library, React library. So
Mm-hmm.
I think before learning any technology, new technology like a frameworks or libraries, we have to know the the actual technology itself, like context. So if you know the use context and know why, what the reason behind of it, like why we have to use context and what is the point
Yeah.
of using it, then if we go and
Mm-hmm.
learn about other frameworks of it, then it's going to be very easy, like Redux.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
know why we have to use Redux. We know we have why we have to use context. It's all about storing the data from outside of the application so that we can access them very easily. So if we know
Yeah,
the
I agree.
reason, then everything is going to be easy.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I totally
Yeah.
agree with you. You're very right about that because most times people get confused on technologies and you might lose the motivation to learn them in the first place because if you don't actually know why you are doing something, it might kind of like confuse you in between. But if you know, okay, this is why I need this thing for you to assist me in this situation, then it might actually help ease up some things for you when working. So yeah, context has really like saved me a couple of times when I'm working like production. But in my own opinion, but because when I started out, I used to like do a lot of prop trading, and it really I don't know, it was very those times were like the bad days. I didn't want to read my old code now to go and be digging through it. It's a huge headache. But now with context and with other libraries like Redux Toolkit and Zostan, the other state management libraries, not just Redux, but like they basically like still follow this reactivity, this signal receptor pattern where there's somebody like emitting an event and there's somebody listening to an event. So it's basically like you're grabbing data from somewhere else, but the data is being propagated um, from your application. So I'm saying so
Hmm.
many big words. It's probably like yeah, it's too complicated, but I'm just like trying to like
Yeah,
express myself basically.
yeah,
Yeah, that's how
absolutely right,
crazy it
bro.
is.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah. So like, any thoughts? Any final thoughts, Ali? What do you think?
Final thoughts, like I said it, like someone in the comment also said that you didn't pass the context. Okay, that was into the use context in line
Yeah,
four.
yeah,
Okay, that's
yeah,
great.
yeah, yeah. I missed.
Like
Yeah, I missed it. I missed it.
it's yeah, it's natural. Like everyone wants, like if everyone wants to build a project, they are going to make a big mistake or a small mistake,
Yeah,
a very small mistake that
yeah,
if someone wants to think about us, like they think that we are very professional, like we are very pro, and we are not doing any mistakes. But if they saw us like we are building a project and they are saying that we are doing lots of mistake, so that's natural. So that's okay, no problem.
yeah,
So the
yeah.
job of so one like developers is divided in my idea like life developers in divided in different parts. So one part of is going to be debugging. Like if we
Yeah,
find an
debugging.
error, if we find a code that is not too readable, so we have to refactorize it, and we have to write it in a way that if someone wants to read our code, so it's going to be readable, and if someone wants to read our code, is they can read it, and they so the code won't be overwhelming for them. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. I agree. And yeah, and context is one of these things that can help your code to be readable actually, because when you're prop drilling, and prop drilling is where you create use states in application, then you're passing data from application to button, and from button you take out the states, you pass it back into it's a very like spaghettified process, I guess. Yeah, we use
Uh,
states. You actually have to go set up the states in the root of your application, which is an app. Then you have to start passing the
yeah,
states down, down. Then you
exactly.
pass it
Yeah.
down. Very tedious process.
Mm-hmm.
But with context, we just did like in one file, set it up, and then we exported it and used it where we needed it. So
Exactly.
that's pretty much yeah, so that's pretty much everything from my end.
Yeah.
I think I'm cool. Yeah. So
Yeah.
other than that, I guess have a wonderful weekend and use context. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah,
Yeah.
have a great day, everyone. Yeah, hope to see
Yeah,
you
yeah,
again.
yeah. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Great to have you here, Pratik. Great to have you here, Aremu and Raja. Thank you for dropping by and those on and people from LinkedIn and Twitch. We're glad that you stopped by. So that's all from my end, and we'll catch you next Saturday with another awesome stuff from React. We're thinking of React Router Dom. We're not really sure yet, but
Exactly. Yeah.
it's probably be React Router Dom, probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
Have a great
Have a
day.
great
Yeah.
weekend. Yeah.